Welcome to this week's podcast. I'm Chris Lucas, and we have Charlotte Milne and Kim Moffat, and we are full-time run coaches at CMF Running, where we help runners and athletes of all abilities train to any surface, any distance races. This week, we are talking about recovering from the big stuff.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
So we've just done, obviously myself and Kim have just done Faultline Miler a couple of weekends ago, and so we're in our sort of second week of recovery now, so we thought that would be an awesome time to talk about recovering from the big stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess in saying that, it can be, recovery from maybe it's your first 100K that you've done, or your first miler, or even your first marathon. These sort of principles that we're going to talk about sort of apply to this as well.
Yeah, so how are you guys feeling? The big miler people?
Big miler people? How about you, Kim? How are you feeling second week?
I'm good today. It's been sort of like a roller coaster of everything, really.
So it's Tuesday today.
Yeah. So all
two Tuesdays after the race.
Yes. So all last week there was no running, except for Saturday, and we did the park run together. And that felt good. That was really good.
An easy park run.
Very easy park run.
You think park run, you think hard 5K? That's not how we went out.
No. So for me, it was a lot of yoga, like still moving. I felt like I needed to keep moving, and sleeping was really important. Almost forcing myself to go to bed earlier. Yes, some nights I did that quite well, and other nights I didn't. But
the first week's quite funny, because this is real typical too, because we go through this all the time. Even like we were talking about before, even not when we're racing, just us being at events, supporting athletes that we coach, and that is the same, like especially the big events, where it's like, it's a big week lead in the week itself, and
lots of energy.
We feel like lots of energy. We feel like we've been out there racing as well. And but often it's that sort of Monday, Tuesday post race weekend. You're feeling like, so good, and you're feeling pretty good still. And then it's sort of that Wednesday, Thursday, it's sort of the wheels come off a bit.
Yeah.
That flat feeling.
Yeah.
It's sort of hard to explain, but if you know, you know.
Yes. I know some people listening to this will know.
Yeah. Like there's just that. There's just nothing
there. A vacuum.
Yeah.
Not
really thinking.
High brain fog.
Very,
and everything's just like slowed down. And I suppose the race nutrition that was so helpful in your race is looking rather appealing, maybe.
Let's keep this going.
I'm not ready to die. I'm not ready to put down the party yet, but my body wants me to rest, but I'm saying no.
Yeah.
Is it all right to have some cake?
At 10 o'clock in the morning.
Is 5 coffees a day normal?
Yeah. Is staying up wired normal?
Because that's the other thing too. Something like can be a bit tricky, like just sort of sleeping and unwinding, like that sort of thing too, post race.
And just like the obsessive scrolling and rechecking.
Yeah.
And you just sort of the come down, right? And it can be vicious if you are if you don't take care of it, if you don't take the sort of right actions.
If you're not expecting it and that kind of thing too,
If you try push from talking through personal experience, and I'm sure I'm not alone in this, is that if you try I'm not tired, I'm going for that run, I'm gonna push through, I'm gonna cover it up with more coffee, more cake, whatever, more food, do all the wrong things, feel shit about yourself, and then go out the next day because you are like, nah, this is not happening to me. Whereas if you
there does come a time for some where there's a cost to be paid for that sort of kind of thing, and we've seen that a lot with runners and athletes that we coach over the years.
And it's just kind of finding that boundary of your fatigue, right? And some people seem to have quite a high they've got a lot of energy. They can just keep going and going. And some people do need that time to recover. And I think it's sort of all sorts of factors that maybe contribute to that.
Yeah, I think personality types come into it.
Definitely.
Mental outlook as well comes into it. Yeah. How much effort we put into, how much mental energy we put into that A race.
That's right, yeah.
Like how much we train for it, taper, all that kind of stuff.
And it's a reminder of like not comparing yourself with other people's recovery.
Totally.
Which is, can be quite big for some people.
For a lot of runners, all runners actually, like at some stage, and it doesn't matter where we are, and this is what I've noticed too over the years, is like it doesn't matter where we are in the field. Like we could be like a mid to rare packer, or you can be an advanced athlete, going for podiums. There's an element of comparing ourselves to others, and you see other people's training on social media, Strava, whatever, or you see what they're doing, and it's very easy to fall into that trap of comparing ourselves to others.
Yeah,
and so that's
which uses up more energy.
Yeah,
and what we are trying to do in that recovery week or weeks is to like rebuild that energy. So so lots of sleep, good food, even stepping away from social media.
Totally.
That's a big one for me too.
Just to let it go.
Digital detox.
Yeah.
Because if you like think about like how much time, maybe it's like a month that you have to go, a bit easier in training. It's like only a month. And, sometimes you might have to take it one day at a time. But you'll find that like maybe other avenues of your life might open up. Like if it's your A race, obviously it's leading up to it. Like you've put a lot of emotional, mental, physical energy into it. And maybe you've like neglected some other aspects of your life, whether it's work or family or the garden or another hobby that you may have. And like it might be a good opportunity just to look at that side of it, and like look at those areas, and sort of giving back to those areas of your life. Because if you do that, then you're sort of like, I'm pretty sure the time will go much quicker than if you're like fixated on like, I can't run. But as runners, it might be a bit harder than saying, okay, sweet, I'll just do that.
It is good to have other hobbies or other things that you like doing.
Yeah.
It's a thing, isn't it? Yeah.
It is.
Often see, folks getting into like, issues. If running is the only sort of thing that you sort of have as your outlet in life, it can often lead to a bit of, in these scenarios where someone gets tired and burnt out from training, or it can lead to burnout and stuff. Because there comes a time where like that doesn't fix the job, it doesn't do the job as well.
And then you're more prone to like injury, I guess, because you're not giving your body that time. Like movement's still good, like walking or yoga or swimming or biking, but you don't have to go out and run the day after, And
this, I guess what we're saying as well is it's not that you're not going to run. So I guess what we're saying, the typical sort of timeline that we kind of see with someone recovering from, maybe their first 100K or their first miler is sort of that, what would you say, 2 to 5 weeks, depending on the individual, or 2 to 6 weeks. And that doesn't mean it doesn't mean 6 weeks of like no running. It just means that things just look slightly different. Some folks recover very quickly, but I think the typical, what I see the most, is that sort of 3 to 4 weeks. Like usually with clients that I work with one-on-one, with their first 100K, first milers, or even repeat ones, you're sort of that 3 to 4 weeks where things are fully coming back. And often it's like week one is kind of like we were saying, first half of week one's like, yeah, I'm good, and then the second half is like, oh, I'm tired, and then week two can kind of be all right, but then sometimes in week three there can be a dip in energy as well. I often see that. I've experienced that a lot myself too. Sort of week three as well.
Not even gonna go. The history of my recovery.
Yeah.
I am not a saint sometimes.
So that's often, and then it's kind of that, so it can be like a little bit like up and down a little bit too, you know.
But you put so much into the training, like it's not just about the actual day, it's the big lead up to the training. Like physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, like there's just so much that goes into that.
So you're not a failure. Like if you're experiencing like week 2, week 3, week 4, if you're experiencing up and down and emotionally you're not quite right, or you feel like you're flat, there's a bit of a void, it's okay. Like you're not a failure. Your training is not going down the toilet. You're still a runner. Like everything's okay.
It's sort of like, something that I heard someone say, that I have to practice my recovery, just like we have to sort of recovery is part of training. And I heard that like a couple of years ago now, and it's always like stuck in my mind. And I haven't always practiced that very well. But I think that maybe this time is different.
Well, we gain experience. We gain experience as we go along, don't we?
Yeah, and I think something that is quite important to listen to is like your nervous system, actually. So we all run for different reasons, and we may find that if we do go for a run, that like when we've gotten back, we feel like the reason that we run in the first place is like been heightened. So whether it's like you run for like your mental health, and then you come back and you feel actually shitter about yourself, or if you run to stay in shape but you come back and you feel inflamed, like then there's something that's going on that's like, oh, maybe the run wasn't the answer. And then maybe it's more about like chilling out and giving back to your body. So like when we're in like high training mode, there seems to be a lot of energy to give, right?
There's available adrenaline.
There's available energy, and you can just you can like train for like 2 hours a day if you wanted to, like, and you're fine and you feel great and you're making all the right decisions with your food and your sleep and your coffee intake and all that. And then you get to the race, and then afterwards, and you try to do that again, but it's having the total opposite effect. And then so it's like the opposite is the appropriate action, and as a result, you get what you wanted. You get that sort of good mental health, where you feel good about yourself physically, and that's just like something that I think's like I've been focusing on, and hopefully like with clients and stuff, is like doing the right actions for, I suppose the reason maybe many of us like started running in the first place, mental health and all that kind of thing. And
or other health goals related, other health, the benefits that come out of running as well.
And because if we're not tired, we don't crave that sort of like high carbs food that make us feel good for about 5 seconds and then shit for about 5 hours. And we're not giving ourselves a hard time. And we're just, I don't know. It's just something that I've been.
It is that internal dialogue and what you're saying to yourself.
Yeah.
Though, I think that's really important to like respect that. This time, like you've just done a massive thing to respect.
Respect ourselves.
Like the body is amazing, but it can only take so much as well.
Yes, and how often have we seen the old Superman effect, and you're sort of signing up to another event the week after a race.
Which is it's
a classic move
for people.
Yeah.
On to the next thing and not giving their body and mind time to just digest what they've just done.
And I've had it with clients that I've coached over the years too, is that sort of the all-in eventer, one event to the next, one event to the next, just keep going. And I've experienced with clients and like with myself as well, my own story, burnout, fatigue, you hit a wall, and you're just burnt out, fatigued, depressed, and because it's just not, there comes a time, like we said, there's a cost to be paid, I know my own story, like with burnout was actually after my first miler, actually, like it came sort of a year after that, where it sort of started happening,
because you did Blue Lake in that same year, 100K, which is so amazing to think that you did that in a way.
It just didn't quite. I think for me as well, like I had a stressful work sort of life prior, like coming into 20, late 20 teens, and then 20 teens. It had a hardcore thing, I never quite kind of like unpacked all of that as well, and then it was kind of that mentality of like onto the miler. I did that thing of like first 100K, first miler, and never, it's just kind of that, it's like that accumulation of like life and training baggage all in one kind of thing. I think it was and then just never quite and then I know what it's like to suffer from like that burnout, from all of that stuff.
And then it took you a while, obviously, to get back.
Because I think
so. I guess the training and the racing was like the thing that sort of tipped it over. Kind of a blessing in disguise, really, like, because then you're forced to look at yourself. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
I think the typical story is that we all started running because of X problem wasn't going great in our life, and then it's fixed that problem, and then we've engaged a coach maybe, and then we've gotten better with our physical running and things like that, and we've achieved some really cool goals, whatever that is for you. And then we're like got like 2 or 3 years in, and then we're like sort of plateauing, but we've done so much work on like the sort of physical aspects of training, and then we've come to like a crossroad where like what Chris experienced of like things coming out now in our running, like that problem maybe, or like life baggage is coming out in your running, and you have to sort of deal with the problem, like sort of running isn't a magic cure for like all mental health things or burnout or anything like that. And so that's an exciting opportunity, and I think I reached that like not so long ago, after like doing big races and actually recovering terribly, really terribly, like emotionally, like just was not in a good place, and I don't want to do it again because it's like it's
not a very nice way to live, like for you. It's not good
for anybody.
And then it affects others around us. Fix Chrissy boy.
Oh, Chrissy boy gets a hard time.
So I was like forced to grow. If I wanted to train and race, then I'm like sort of forced to like look at it, and
it's like forced growth.
Or I'm going to repeat the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, and that's just insane. It's insanity. So
you have to change things to make the change. Change how you do things.
Definitely.
It's the exciting thing with like doing what we do, like coaching runners and athletes, is it's often that second or third year. Like if we've had someone long term, it's that sort of second or third year where you kind of like there's like another layer that comes off.
Yeah.
It's like some more personal development things that start coming in, because you've done, like, if you've had someone for like a year and a half, 2 years, you kind of, you've done this sort of arc of improvement, where it's been quite linear. It's like you've crushed your PBs in every distance, done the thing, got your mile, and then the gains become a bit more like incremental, and then there can be other things that are like kind of blocking those gains from taking place. And they're definitely, I've definitely seen it a lot, not with everyone of course, but definitely seen it a lot with individuals that I've worked with. They sort of get to that second or third year, and there's other personal development things that sort of start coming in, whatever that might be for that person.
Yeah.
A good example is Michelle. We can mention Michelle, because we've done a podcast. It's on Charlotte, on Trail Girl Charlotte's channel, where we talked about that sort of stuff, like with Michelle in relation to her recent 200Ks at Riverhead Backyard Ultra. So go and check that out.
Yeah. It's she grabbed the opportunity with both hands actually, and was like, oh, I want to, I suppose the meaning of running to her was so high that she was willing to look at the other outside factors of her life, and it was, and as a result she got running and was able to keep running and look at those other outside factors. It's not like we have to take a break from a year and go to counseling,
gap year,
counseling full on. But yeah, it's a exciting time. I feel.
And it's fun to watch as coaches, right? It's fun to see that, those shifts that people make.
Yeah, because ultimately it makes us better runners, eh? There's less things holding us. There's less mental restrictions that are holding us back in our training, or we're able to remove expectations on ourselves more.
Yeah.
We're able to stop that sort of comparison stuff, and you sort of start removing all those kind of blockages and barriers, and then hey presto, we're performing way better, enjoying our running, have more energy. We're just more freer,
Yeah.
It's super interesting, eh? No, not sure if we've gone off topic with this. This is where we've gone with recovering from things, but it's not to say this is for everyone, but this is just
patient as well. As well with that recovery. Because how's your recovery been? How's your second week?
My second week of my second miler. Same thing. Start of the week feeling good, and that's quite normal. Start of the last week was feeling pretty good, and then what is it? Wednesday night, Thursday night, we were in bed 8:30, 9 p.m. asleep. We were tired,
so tired, and we slept until 7. I think on Wednesday it was I was definitely asleep by 8:30ish, and we got up at 7:30.
The next day. Wow.
Yeah. There was a couple of nights where we have 10 hours sleep, or something. 10,
11 hours sleep.
But pretty good. So same like that. I think I went to the gym on. I might have done a walk.
You did gym and
a walk on Wednesday. Some light gym on
Friday.
Yeah, Thursday or Friday. Yeah, and then did the easy park run on
Saturday.
Saturday, yeah.
And Sunday you ran as well.
Did I? Yeah? Sunday, yeah.
Yes, you were You dropped me off. I ran home.
Don't remember that.
Okay. You ran on Sunday.
Apparently I ran on Sunday. Then I've run, that must have been 20, 30 minutes. And then I ran the other day too, didn't I?
It's only Tuesday today.
Oh, okay, yeah, I ran on Sunday.
This is where we're at.
Yeah. Mind is still a bit.
No days. We don't know what day it is today.
Yeah. So, I think, I'm still a little bit.
You think?
Not quite there. Here, but not there, Yeah. But no, definitely, yeah. Bit of brain fog, but tired, a little bit flat sometimes, but pretty good overall. And I think, I plan to keep. I think tomorrow doing gym, getting sort of building into a bit more weight in the gym, sort of from tomorrow onwards, because that's a really important thing, just that movement. I find that really good, and keeping those sort of 30-minute runs going, I think, this week for me.
Yeah.
And sort of see where I land, like that second weekend after the event, sort of seeing where I'm, that like this Friday or Saturday, like just checking in and being like, how am I? Like, am I good for an hour run? Or am I sticking to 30 minutes? And then just kind of see where I'm at from there. Yeah.
I think that's where I'm at too. Like, for some reason, I don't know, last week, like on the Monday, I was like, oh, I could do the exterior. And so I fell into that classic, like, right, what's next? But no, I'm quite happy where I'm at and what I'm doing. So same with you. Like to see what happens on after Friday. What does the weekend look like?
We kind of want those like easy recovery runs to like feel good. We don't want to do
too much.
Yeah. It's like real low intensity, walk, run if they need to be. I know my run a couple of days ago, it was like, super joggy, super cruisy. I walked the last 5 minutes. It was like in the sunlight. I was really enjoying it. And I was happy with that, and I felt like, I went to the sauna afterwards. So that's another thing that's kind of a good thing for me. Like, I like the sauna. It's quite a nurturing thing that I like to do. Some people I quite like the sauna because it's like hot and cold. The sauna and the cold shower, in and out. I like that. Some people like the ice baths. Good on you. I wouldn't mind the ice bath if it's accompanied with the sauna. It's fine. So I did, that. So I felt after my run, I felt like it was an invigorating thing to do. Like that movement was an invigorating thing. Whereas if I'd gone out and been like, cool, I'm going to run for an hour at my normal aerobic pace, then I might have, like, it wouldn't have been like a invigorating or nurturing activity. It would have been a tiring activity, and then sort of like there's a line there where we can sort of tip.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of learning what that is for us as individuals. And
I think this was a good question that I think I hadn't heard from you before, or I hadn't listened, I don't know. But like you said, is this activity going to be nurturing to you, or is it not going to be nurturing to you? Because for this period that we've been down here, I like trained like I was almost going to do the miler, but didn't do the miler. So my like how I've been feeling is probably roughly the same as these guys. And it was like you asked that question sometimes, and like before Faultline, and I found that like actually as a result, sometimes I was able to do more than I expected I could do. And then sometimes it took the pressure off the expectation that I thought I had to do. And I think that's like kind of like what I was saying before, like with getting back from the run and you just feel really shit. Like I've done this so many times, like pushed the boundary too much. And like, I know when I'm doing it, like I'm like, this is too much, but I got to run for that hour. And then I've gotten back and I've just felt so like just icky. And then, if I had just gone for that 20-minute run instead of that hour, I would have got the same effect from it than if I had done the hour, in the high training session. And it would have been like the same effects probably as well for my body. And I think that,
it just hinders everything, doesn't it? It just hinders like your day ahead.
Yeah, and then like it comes out later, right? It comes out, you just sort of like pushing out the inevitable. Instead of it being 3 weeks recovery, it's now like 5 because you've pushed too hard in the first like 2 weeks. Yeah. And so, you've just blown up. Like if you think month's not long, then if you blow it up, then could be 3 months. Yeah, like I've done that.
Yeah.
I went too hard in the first month and I ended up having to recover like for the first like 3 months. Like afterwards, like I still was just not right.
Sort of, fatigue, chronic fatigue sort of situation, Yeah. And I've seen that before with others that we've coached as well. Yeah, it's the tip over scenario.
Yeah. And something else you mentioned before was like you said the word comparison. And like it's really easy to compare yourself to others, right? It's just a normal human thing to do, especially if you're not running on all cylinders, and you're feeling a bit like tired and whatnot, and you compare yourself to other people on Strava that some people seem to do a race, a big race, and then they might be a little bit funny for a week with their running, like not run that much. And then like by the second week, they're running like 70 Ks
full steam ahead. Yeah.
And you're like,
they are outliers. Okay. Just want to say that.
Yeah.
They are outliers.
Yeah. And you also, who knows? Like, I was like thinking, who knows? You get to a race day with them, and like, who knows what will happen? Like, maybe that's not actually that beneficial for them, as well. It's kind of like tick boxing the mentality for the day. But if you're like wanting to do, because there might be some underlying fatigue, even though they can do it on that day and still the rest of their life being manageable, and then they get to race day and they perform it like
just slightly
50%.
Yeah. No, definitely see that a lot too.
Because all we've seen is the
suboptimal
physical
performance. Yeah, if that's what your goal is, performance.
Yeah.
Definitely see that a lot, where it's like, that individual's going from event to event. They're never quite tapering. They're never quite recovering afterwards, and there's just always this kind of like load, this training and event load that's always kind of there. Yeah, I see that quite a bit.
And then maybe it's your mentality that you went in with the race with. Like, there are some people out there that sort of say, I'm not here, I'm just here to have fun. I'm not here to be competitive, and then they sort of seem to be able to do that race, and then they're go back to like pretty high training straight afterwards, and then doing another race X amount of time later. And they always seem to do it right. Like, they always seem to do it right, So maybe there's something in that. Like,
but imagine how good they could be.
I know.
I often think that. Imagine how
they gave themselves
to
time.
periodize their training, periodize your recovery, different blocks. And
I suppose it's like people's whys, but it's just interesting. Like, they haven't put 100% of their sort of energy into that one race, so the come down afterwards is not really a come down. Like, it's just like, oh, that was fun. I've got another race in 3 weeks, and I'm looking forward to that.
And that's where individual, and that's totally fine too. That's where individual like differences come in, different goals that are within our running. A lot of people's goals with their running is purely around sort of community and participation at events and seeing their mates and going for a run. And that's cool too. I'm a bit of both. I like to give it my best, like on certain events. You have that sort of ABC race sort of thing. Certain races have less importance, but then other races have a key focus where you want to like lay it down and do your best.
I think I sit there too, actually.
But you're an interesting one compared to like us or me. Like, you seem to have a lot of you seem to recover really well. Like, or you're feeling like this time is genuinely different than other races?
I think this time's different.
Okay.
I think, but yes, like I said, I'm like, started to run, this week. I went for a run this morning and it felt really good. And I feel like but like I said, I'm going to like wait until the weekend. But, I feel like good. I think I've still got a little bit of, brain fog, and I haven't quite got my, what did I say to you last night, like the whoop back yet. But that's coming. Like, I'm just sort of like, just going through the motions, and I'm not yes, I did think about the next event, but then I was just like, actually just come back down to earth. I needed to ground myself, and I'm quite happy where I'm at. Like, I'm just respecting the recovery. Like what I did was massive. Like, what we did was massive. What it's massive, and I want to continue running. So it's about respecting what I've done, and because mentally that can completely do all sorts of things,
letting that energy bucket fill up again, so you can take from it again.
But like I know, like after my 100 I feel I sort of bounced
100K.
back quite 100K. I bounced back quite quickly, and And I guess it's just also learning, like running. I always get my high from my running, but now it's like I can get my high from like doing yoga. Like that's just finding you don't have to run to get your high. And like you were saying, like sometimes you can go thinking you're going to get that high, but then you come home feeling not that great. Yeah.
I think and then I think that's sort of like also what we were sort of talking about before. I don't know, I just have sort of this now, and it's like why do you run? And if it's like outside, bigger than yourself, like the reason is like bigger than like to get your fix as well, can be like, so like what other aspects can I sort of contribute to the running community that aren't just sort of about myself and my goals. Whether that's like, it still can involve running, by the way, so it could be like going on a run with someone that's maybe like more of a beginner type, or going to an event and just volunteering, or
all of that stuff's really good. Maybe it's coaching.
Yeah.
I know that's been a big thing for me personally, like on my journey, like with my running and energy and things, being like helping others, like they're running.
Yeah.
You get energy from it, right?
Yeah. Sense of
definitely.
like purpose and belonging, and So my running is like less about me and more about others and stuff.
Just doing esteemable things to get esteem, really. And it can actually be outside of running, I think, and like it's like maybe focusing more on that work project that you've been putting off.
We're talking about ourselves there.
Yeah. But it could be a thing for you as well.
Big CMF projects coming up.
Yeah. Just a hint. Yeah.
More on that later. Yeah. So what's some general kind of tips and guidelines for someone listening or watching this who has done their first big thing, 100K, 100 miler, or maybe it's your first marathon that you've like built towards for ages and it was a real huge thing for you. What's some general sort of tips? And I guess the first thing that comes to mind for me is just the timeline, in the general sense of what we see as coaches working with a lot of individuals. I think that sort of general timeline of that 2, 3, 4 weeks as a general guide, I think, of what it takes. Now, having said that, the body comes right quick in a lot of cases, especially if you've trained, if you've done some structured training either with a coach or you followed a plan, or you did a structured build, and then typically post-race your body will recover quite quick. By the end of week 1, you're feeling pretty sweet. And so I guess that's where part of the trap is, isn't it? Is your body's feeling sweet, but it's the energy systems that take time, like our sort of aerobic system, our nervous system. Like these are the things that take a bit longer to recover. And yeah, that's sort of the stuff that takes that sort of 2, 3, 4 weeks.
I think that's why we get so like, like the body recovers so quick. So like often by Tuesday, you're feeling pretty sweet, like physically. And then you're like, yeah, I'm sweet again. And then it's just like your nervous system, your energy system's like, just kidding. You're really tired.
It takes that 1 hour run to be like, oh, no, that was quite hard.
Yeah.
And I think that if it's like a big race that we're talking about, if you can, like, don't run until Friday. Like, a typical sort of race, like it's good to have 2 to 3 days off from running and then going for that 20-minute test run. But if it's a big race, like, sort of Friday or even Saturday is like a good time to go for like that 20 to 30-minute easy run.
And you don't lose anything by doing that.
No.
You gain. Yeah, you just gain.
Walks are great.
So much. Yeah.
Walks are great.
Yeah.
Yoga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saunering.
Yeah.
Eating.
Maybe if you like swimming as well. Like that sort of Wednesday, Thursday onwards, you might sort of
just don't pick up swimming.
Just don't go nuts.
Like
oh yeah, you've become a hardcore swimmer, right? Start swimming every day.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
We've done it all. We've seen it all.
Yeah. Don't become like a, just swap it for a different sport and then pick up that
hard out.
multi-day thing. I'm going to swim every day for 7 days and see what happens.
Yeah. Other tips, I guess, I mean, it's sort of that thing I experienced sort of, directly after the race, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, is you still sort of do feel like a bit of junk food. And I kind of do allow myself, just a couple of days to, be a little bit naughty with a couple of things. And then, but it's kind of like with the idea of like sort of phasing it out. So I guess that's one good thing is sort of, obviously eating clean is going to help your aid your recovery. Eating real food, meat, veggies, fruit.
Yeah.
Just food.
Yeah.
I like to put a good emphasis on sort of good fats and proteins post events because I find it builds me up really well, makes me feel good.
I would have to agree as well. It's like more fats and proteins. It's definitely in like sort of natural carbs, fruit, kumara, but actually not too much of that. We've had a lot of fruit in this recovery, and it's been really good.
Big fruit bowls.
Yeah,
don't be afraid of that.
And
that just helps shift all the stuff that you've put into your body. Out.
Yep.
So that's really a good sign. Like if you're going to the toilet more because it's just moving.
Oh yeah. That's what we talked about last week. We're cracking a bit.
Eat over that period of when you do like 100k, 100 miler, maybe even a marathon. You're eating foods that you wouldn't normally. So just So to shift it out.
Definitely.
And
it's like just giving your body a cleanse. Basically, is like having like is this cleansing? Opposed to, is this going to get me a faster time? It's probably a good mentality to have. And I think like also if you don't put too much stress in your body, then like your appetite and stuff regulates as well. So it's not like you're going to be sitting there like stuffing your face if you're not that hungry and not that stressed out. So it all kind of like regulates itself. Your body's pretty amazing if you let it do its thing.
Yeah. If you give it the right things, it generally responds in a positive way. Really.
So being patient, I guess, is the other thing. Just in that recovery phase, we talked about not comparing ourselves to others. So maybe like for you, that's like, if you are feeling sort of still tired in week 3, then scrolling to seeing what other people are up to on Strava is probably not a good idea for you. Like just like take a digital detox on that kind of stuff. If you're I know for me, I like to give myself that little bit of extra time for recovery. I'm a low volume trainer to begin with. From like what I respond well to in my own training, I'm not a super high volume trainer when I'm training, and take a little bit longer. I like to give myself that little bit longer. So I think practical things like that. Not being on the Strava and if it's causing you damage, not comparing ourselves to others, that kind of thing.
If it's getting boring, get off it. I noticed that like last week I was like, okay, this is boring now. I'm getting off it. And then you just put your phone down and I don't know.
Chuck it on airplane mode. Chuck it in the cupboard.
And just I think
get rid of it.
That's what I do.
throw it with the Garmin. But
that's another good tip actually, is what we talk about quite often is so when you are sort of starting to get a bit of momentum, maybe it's like week 2 or week 3 and you're starting to run back with those sort of 30-minute runs or building up to sort of 60 minutes. For some people, for some of our athletes, we recommend like not wearing your watch. You don't have to wear your watch if you go for a run. You can leave the watch at home and just go out. Go out. They
call it the naked run, don't they?
Naked run, go out. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to clock it. Just go out and do your 30 minutes of movement, whatever that is. Walk, run, walk, jog, whatever.
Yeah.
If that is too hard for you, if that's too extreme for you, then if you've got a heart rate monitor, don't wear it. And then don't look at your heart rate. I think this was a really good thing when I sort of stopped training, is that I didn't wear my heart rate monitor, and I used to look at my heart rate all the time, right? But I just changed it to like the K thing and the time, and so because I still have that habit of doing this, looking at my watch when I'm running, and actually I learned a lot from doing that. You learn like what does easy actually feel like, and then also at the same time, because you're not really spending that much time looking at your watch, you're getting to look out at the scenery around you, and you can like focus on how you're feeling, and it comes more like a meditative kind of run. And so like a good tip that I have liked to have done, and hopefully you have a friend or a partner that might be able to help you out here, is like running point to point. So you've kind of like you've started here and now you're here, and it's like there's something that I found really beneficial in that I'm running home, I'm running to this place. It's just it kind of gives you a weird sense of achievement that is not really like training focused. It's more like just fulfillment focused.
Add a bit of fun in.
Yeah.
It's maybe going somewhere different that you haven't run.
Yes.
Yeah. Even if it's for that 30-minute thing, just go somewhere like slightly different route. Or
because you've in training you often pick a route because it suits that session.
Yeah, and you're busy and you're squeezing in lots of things.
Yeah. And that's just a tip from me I found really helpful.
I think we always go on about, like trusting the process, like in your training, but I think it's trusting the process in your recovery.
Yeah,
as well.
It's part of training, isn't it? It's part of training.
Trusting that this is going to pass, like these like roller coaster feeling will pass as long as you, I guess, just nourish yourself and talk nicely to yourself as well. Like it's okay to feel.
Yeah, so acceptance,
okay.
It's okay to be tired.
It's
accepting
okay.
how you are.
Important. Don't fight it. Like don't fight.
So another tip that I quite often discuss with my guys I coach is, especially after like a first miler or something like that, is sort of like not setting new goals for the first like 3 or 4 weeks afterwards. Like and just sort of giving that period of sort of just seeing where things are land, and then sort of looking at what the next goals are after that.
It is important because I have a race I'm doing exterior in Hanua it's in like 6 weeks, and it feels like just enough time actually, like because I sort of need sort of like 3 to 4 weeks of sort of easy training, and then hopefully I'll be all right. Excuse me, Chester.
Chester's coming in on the scene here.
Here we go.
He's going to eat my...
You're going to be on the podcast, Chester.
Off you go. Outside. Good boy. Outside.
So is there anything else that we can think of that we want to share? Any other closing thoughts, tips?
No. Chester's... Look after your loved ones.
Chester's eyeing up the fruit. Charlotte's fruit bowl.
Yeah.
He's in a recovery dog.
I don't think he's into fruit.
Well, Chester wasn't enjoying the lack of running last week.
He wasn't actually. He wasn't at all.
He was like not up to play.
What's happening?
Even though Chester was in the car at Macra at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. He's still recovering too, probably.
It was so funny in the car seat. Oh God,
Chester was at the finish line. Chester was at the finish line on Sunday morning when he came in.
That's right.
Like so epic.
Yeah.
He did. He was. Yeah. So he's still on.
He must have been wondering what the heck was going on. Like, what are we doing?
I'm sure he was.
He looked pretty funny in Macra. He's like, I thought he was like, I don't know, a fourth child.
No, he was with the crew from start to finish, really. Wondering what the hell was going on.
It was so funny, eh?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Our running buddies.
Yes. But it's about being kind. I think it's just about being kind to yourself and not overthinking things and just letting the process happen, you know, and doing all those other things that we've mentioned. Because everyone's different. Everyone's different in how they recover. Yeah. I mean, physically you can recover really well, but, you know, mentally, you can. Yeah.
Cool. I think that's about it. If you would like to talk to us about your running, and perhaps you've just done 100K or a miler or something like that recently, and you're sort of recovering and you're listening to this and you're thinking about what is next with my running.
Is this normal?
Yeah. Then we do free coach calls for first timers. Just reach out to us and we can get on a call. You can get on a call with either one of us and just have a chat about your running and your goals and see where to from there. See if we're a fit. If you like what we're doing with our content, our podcasts, we'd love to have your support. Join our Run Club community, our CMF Run Club. So just an annual membership. It's not a lot. We'd love to have you as part of our community and love to have your support. We'd be very grateful. And I think that's about it, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Until next time.
Yes.
Catch you in the next one.
Yeah.
See you later.
Bye.